All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, bahasham, Yahawashi, and a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopeful Le'akim out there, pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as YAHAWAH, bahasham, Yahawashi has created us to do, so he can wake up and seal the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and you Israelites who are scattered amongst the heathen nations. They may look like the heathen nations, but your father's seed line goes back to you being the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, one of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Hey, Shalom. It's your brother Halaki from the GMS Denver camp coming back once again through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, bahasham, Yahawashi with another video. And the title of this video is going to be Forged by Fire, because that's exactly what's happening with the true believers, man. From the men of the Lord to those who listen to us through these videos and on the highways and byways, we are all being forged by fire. That's how YAHAWAH, bahasham, Yahawashi has ordained us to enter into his kingdom, the kingdom that he's promised to give unto our forefathers, man. Baptized by way of fire, by way of the hand of the Lord Yahawashi. So we're going to start right here in Matthew 3:11. When I say baptized by fire, I mean the afflictions and the things that we go through on a daily basis is all the tests. It's all the purges of all that weakness and all that bullshit that we've been cultivated in here in Babylon the Great, up under the hand of our enemy, Esau Edom. Because the ways that we have been taught, man, are completely off. And they're instilled in us because these things were put into us from the time of birth, man, here in this land. So we have to be completely rewired, and the Most High decides to do that through what? Trials and tribulations and afflictions. You see? And he cuts away all that poison that we've learned here in this land, man. And he does it by way of fire and a form of affliction. So Matthew 3:11 says what? I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance, but he that cometh after me is mightier than I. And this is the prophet John the Baptist speaking about the Lord Yahawashi coming. He says what? Whose shoes I am not worthy to bear. He shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. And that fire goes into what? That affliction. You see? That's the fire that Yahawashi is baptizing us with this Holy Spirit of truth that the world cannot receive, as you read in John 14-17, and the trials that we go through on a daily basis, man. Financially, living situation, relationships with your woman, catching hell at work, catching hell in your body, catching hell in your mind. Just seems like when you think shit is going all right, then something comes. That's all the afflictions from the Lord Yahawashi as correction. It's all to make you tougher. It's all to make you better. It's all to have you what? Forged by fire, man. It says what? Whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor, and gather his wheat into his garner, and those are the wheat are the ones what? That endure unto the end. Like the Lord Yahawashi said, he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That means you endure the trial by fire. You endure being in the forge and being molded to be made into those pure golden wedges of Ophir. You see? To come out as that precious gold as the Most High intends to make us, man. It says what? That's who's going to be garnered. That's the wheat that's going to be gathered into the garner. But it says what? But he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. And that includes the 2/3 men who have fallen away. Now they're bitter in their spirit that they're turning away from the truth, talking down about the apostles and the elders, talking down about Yahawashi. You see, just denouncing everything that they've learned because what? They were tired of catching hell. They were tired of being forged. They were tired of being in the fire. So since you didn't want to go through the spiritual fire, these trials that we've been commanded to go through, the Most High is going to put you in that unquenchable fire in the form of that destruction that's coming by way of 200 million thermonuclear warheads, man. You can either get right the way Yahawashi is doing it, by taking us through these trials and tribulations, you see, to make us mentally tougher, to make us better in the spirit, to refine our inner man. You can either go that way, or you can either go the way the other way by being what? Burned up in the lake of fire, man. I will take being purged by fire by the hand of Yahawashi, man. By going through the trials and tribulations. And when you have the understanding to know that all this shit is temporary and it's all for your benefit, it gets easier to bear. It gets easier to go through. And as you continually and constantly go through it, it doesn't faze you as much as it did when you first came into this truth, man. You see? It starts to become easier. You know? You still have your moments because we're in the flesh. We're not perfect. You see? But it's all good, man. Because what does it say? Oh, that's some Proverbs. Yep. Let's see. Where is it? Salakia. Let's get this. Isaiah 48:10, it says, Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. And that's what Yahawashi is doing. He's taking us through that furnace of affliction, man. Forging us. Making us in his image. You see? Making us better, man. That's what Yahawashi is doing. We've been chosen in the furnace of affliction, man. Don't listen to these guys talking about we're not going to have to go through nothing. That's exactly what we're going to have to do. We have to go through these things, man. It is a must. Oh, man, where is it? I know King Solomon spoke on it as well. Is that Proverbs 16? Real quick, let's see. If I can't find it over, we'll get another one. Man, where is it? Let's get another one. Let's go to the Apocrypha. This is Ecclesiastes 2. It says what? Let's start at 1. My son, when I come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. And that's a part of that affliction, man, being tempted, being tried. You see? Being pulled by Satan to get you up out of the truth, man. Because when you really think about it, it's all mental, man. It's all spiritual. That's why you pray for the Most High to give you the mental and spiritual fortitude to endure. You see? And you can combat Satan a lot better when you're in that spirit, man, of enduring and overcoming. And it ultimately goes into what? Faith. It ultimately goes into having faith, man. You see? Knowing that we have a reward after we endure the affliction. And the main example of that is the Lord Yahawashi. He endured the affliction that he had to go through. And now he's back on the right-hand side of the Most High, man, in his glory. Waiting to come back to the earth to take dominion, man. To take the crowns of the heathen nations. If you believe in that, that makes you fight even harder to be a partaker in Yahawashi's glory. But the only way to do it is to what? Prepare thy soul for temptation and endure. That's the only way. Verse 2 says what? Set thy heart aright, get your mind right, and constantly endure. Constantly endure, man. Giving up is not an option. Going back into the world is not an option, man. We have to constantly endure this trial by fire, man. We have to constantly endure being forged by fire. It says what? And make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. That's what we have to do. Cleave unto Yahawashi and depart not away, man. And we're going to be increased at our last end. Meaning what? We're going to partake in Yahawashi's glory, man. That's if we continue to suffer with him, man. You see? And what makes suffering a lot easier? Believing on the beautiful things that we have coming, man. Your mind on the mission. The end result of going through all these things is what? The kingdom of heaven, man. Being made completely righteous, given the new bodies, being brought into the second covenant. That's the increase that we're looking for. Being brought into that everlasting righteous kingdom, man, as the Most High has promised us. That he is going to bring to pass because he spoke it. Verse 4 says what? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. And this is where we find ourselves here in Babylon the Great, man. We are in the lower state, man. We are in the state of mourning. We are catching hell. Fucked up in our minds, fucked up in our bodies, man. You see? A constant state of suffering is what we go through here in the land of our enemies, man. Everybody else is living the fuck up, having a great fucking time, but not us. You say you have your moments, but once that shit is over, it's back to reality, man. We are in the lower state as Israelites, man. Especially us who believe in Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. So we have to endure this trial by fire so we can be brought into something greater, man. Verse 5 says what? For gold is tried in the fire. And that's what the Most High sees us as, man. Gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So if you're going through hell, partaking in Yahawashi's suffering, the Most High sees you as acceptable, man. But you have to continue to endure. You have to continue to fight and overcome. Because there is nothing here for us, man. Our life is here in Mashiach Yahawashi. When he's revealed, we shall be entered into glory with him, man. But we have to endure these trials. It is a must that we endure these trials, man. It says what? For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, man. You see that? And that's what we're going through. We're in the furnace of adversity now, and Yahawashi is going to turn up the heat to the maximum once we're in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. You see, and that's going to be the final purging for us, to get every ounce of Babylonian dross out of us. And honestly, hey, let's do it. Let's do it, man. Because I want to see what real life is like. You know? If this is what we got to go through to enter into true life, let's fucking do it, man. What are we tiptoeing for? To continue to stay here to work a bullshit ass job, to be surrounded by people that we can't fucking stand? No, I'm ready to get to the kingdom, man. I'm ready to be righteous. I'm ready to have families, man. You see, I'm ready to have power. Ready for the earth to be put back into a righteous state. So we have to go through this, man. It is a must. I want to get that one in Proverbs, and I can't remember where it was. Because I know it's one in Proverbs. Oh, man. I ain't gonna be able to find out. I don't want to take too much time looking for it. Alright, so let's move on. I don't want to take too much time looking for it. No, watch. As soon as I cut the video off, it'll come back. So let's get this one, man. let's show you. So once again, we have to go through these trials and tribulations, because at the end of the day, what does it say about us going into the kingdom? Acts 14 and 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. And that tribulation is what? That furnace of adversity. And we're catching it each and every day, man. You see? Every single believer in Yahawashi is catching hell in some shape, form, or fashion. You see, don't you even think otherwise, man. Because this is a requirement for us. You see? And Yahawashi showed us that's what it had to be. He's our main example, and we're supposed to follow him and look at his walk and see what he went through. And Yahawashi was catching hell. So guess what? If we claim that Yahawashi is our master, guess what we're going to do? Catch hell, man. It's a part of it. But it's cool. It's good. It's okay. You see? Because what does it say about chastening? Oh, let's get Proverbs 3 and 11. It says what? My son, despise not the chastening of YAHAWAH, neither be weary of his correction. And that's what we go through. You see? Just being corrected. Getting mindsets and things that were instilled in us in the world out of us. You might have had a mindset to think that money was the end-all be-all. The Most High might have you in a financial situation where you really don't have no money to get that mindset up out of you. You might be putting women up on the pedestal. The Most High might have it to where you have no women for a certain amount of time to get you up out of that spirit of thinking that women is the end-all be-all. You might be fucking putting too much stock into your flesh, thinking that you're strong and you're going to be able to overcome this and that, and the Most High, overcome by the strength that you have. You can squat this much, you can bench this much, so forth and so on. The Most High have it to where you're weak in the body. You see? That's the chastening to get you in the right mindset of what? Putting Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi first, man. And knowing all these other things, you see, are just there. They're not salvation. You see? They're nothing to rely in, to trust in. That's what the Most High is doing when he takes us through these trials and afflictions, man. For us to have a mind toward him and his only begotten son. Putting them at the forefront. You see? So this is Hebrews 12 and 5. It says what? And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. You see, you get rebuked by brothers. Ain't nothing to faint about, man. The Most High might, the Most High might have you in a situation where you're being rebuked, or whatever it may be. That's no reason to faint, man. It's correction to make you better. It says what? For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. So if you're going through hell and afflictions because you believe in Yahawashi, it's because the Most High loves you, man. It says what? And scourge of every son whom he receiveth. So the things that we go through, we should thank the Lord, man. That proves that he loves us, man. That he's dealing with us through the Lord Yahawashi. Verse 7 says what? If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons, man. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? So if you ain't going through something, if you ain't catching hell and its truth, you're not a son of the Most High. It says what? Verse 8. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, all of who? All the true believers in Yahawashi are partakers in the chastisement, man. Then you are bastards and not sons. You see? Verse 9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For verily for a few days, for they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. You see that? That's to get us going in the right direction. You see, he took us out that path of darkness and put us into the path of light. And it comes with afflictions. It comes with trials and tribulations, ups and downs. But it's all for our profit. It's all for our benefit. It's all for us to do that first commandment that the Most High gave us, man. And which is what? I am Yahawah thy power. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's what Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi is training us in, man. Because we've been taught to worship everything else except for Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. You see? But now, the Most High has us. The Most High has Yahawashi taking us in the right direction of putting the Most High first, loving our neighbor as thyself. You see? That's why we go through what we go through, man. It's just building us up and making us better, making us stronger. You see? Making us into the men that Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi always wanted us to be. And ultimately, when it's all said and done, we're going to partake in that holiness, man, if we continue to endure. Lord willing. Being brought into Yahawashi's glory, man. And it's going to be beautiful. Well worth it, man. It's going to be... never seen it. Don't know how it feels, but I know it would be worth it because I know it would be better than the bullshit that we go through in Babylon the Great, man. Verse 11 says what? Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. And it sucks sometimes. But we have to eat it and just do what? Keep pushing. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. You see, your faith is increased. Mental fortitude is increased. Your trust and your belief in Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi is increased by enduring the chastenings, man. You see? And if we endure it until the end, what does it say? Romans 8 and 17, matter of fact. Romans 8 and 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of the Most High, they are the sons of the Most High. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High, and if children, then heirs, heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Mashiach, Yahawashi, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. You see that? Being made co-heirs in the kingdom of heaven with Yahawashi if we suffer with him, man. You see? We have to suffer with Yahawashi. We have to endure this furnace of affliction, man. It's the only way for an Israelite to go. Verse 18, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us, man. And when you understand this package that the Most High is about to give unto us, man, first and foremost, being brought into that complete state of righteousness is more than enough. And just the blessings that come as a byproduct of us being changed and brought into that everlasting covenant, man. The blessings of Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14, forevermore just poured and showered down upon us. Come on. The many mansions that we're going to be able to inhabit out there in the heavens. Access to the spirit world anytime we feel like it. Going to sit at the feet of the Most High and just asking questions. You see? This is what we're being brought into. This is the glory that Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi is going to bring us into if we continue to endure. You see? If we continue to fight this good fight of faith and not tap out, but continue to sit in this forge until the Most High says, all right, you good. Bro, The glory that we're going to be brought into is uncomprehendable, man. You see? It can't be comprehended. Verse 18, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. After what? After we finish going through this trial of fire. After we finish our portion of suffering. You see? And to show you, man, that this is the only way. And I love going into this because it shows you, like, this is it. This is it, man. Let's see. 2 Ezra 7:3. And I speak. And I said, speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance, were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, then how could he then come into the broad? 6. There's another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. This city is talking about what? The kingdom of heaven. Where the Most High is going to give us free reign throughout all existence. And it's going to be done in righteousness, man. Verse 7 says what? The entrance thereof is narrow, because this is the straight gate. And it is set in a dangerous place to fall. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. So every man has to walk this path. You see? Every man has to walk this path, man. It's a rite of passage for all of us to go through this straight gate. And Yahawashi led the way and knocked that shit out of the park, man. And he told us not to fear because he overcame the world. So guess what? We can overcome it too through our faith in Yahawashi, man. Verse 9 says what? If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Exactly. So the Most High has this inheritance prepared for us. But if we don't go through the fire to get it, if we don't sit in the forge and allow Yahawashi to refine us, how can we receive the inheritance? There's no way for us to receive it unless we what? Know it after death by pain. And I ain't trying to go that route. And I know all you true believers and sincere believers, you're not trying to go that route either, man. So this is a must for this nigga got 2 masks on. Boy. Boy, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. We got 2 fucking masks on. Tripping. Verse 10 says what? And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so is Israel's portion. You see that? This is Israel's portion, the straight gate. You see, walking through this furnace of affliction, man. This is our only way to where we want to be. You know? It must be so. Let's get another one. Let's get because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, man, the kingdom of heaven awaits. It's already established in the spirit. We just have to finish playing out the movie. You know? And the Most High set it up for us to go through this affliction to get to this kingdom, man. But guess what? He said he wants to give it to us. Let's get it. And this is what keeps us motivated, man. 2 Ezra 8:51. But understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. We worried about the elect, man, the true believers, those who are going to continue on in this furnace of adversity, enduring, being obedient unto Yahweh, bahasham, Yahawashi, unto death, if is what it calls for. You see? Verse 52 says what? For unto you is paradise opened. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteous is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. And that's the kingdom that we're about to enter into if we continue to endure. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the mouth is hid from you. And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality. That's the end. That's the expected end that the Most High has for us, man. So that lets us know that we can do this, man. As long as we keep the faith, we can endure these little trials and tribulations, this affliction that we go through. Hell, even the time of Jacob's trouble, the time of Jacob's trouble is not going to be forever. It's going to be a small moment in time, and once we overcome that through our faith in Yahawashi, we're going to be brought into everything we just read. And then Yahawashi gave us some words of assurance of what? Luke 12:32. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom of heaven. The Most High wants to do this for us, man. But we have to go through that trial of affliction. That furnace, that furnace of adversity. We have to go through it. But if it's the Most High's pleasure to give us the kingdom, that lets us know that He's going to give us the spirit to overcome and endure all these things that we have to suffer before we can get there. And you have to have faith in that, because when you really look at it, how else can we overcome and endure? How else can we get through the time of Jacob's trouble without the Most High pouring His Spirit upon us? There is no way. So Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi is going to strengthen us in these times that we're coming into, man. So we have nothing to fear, because He wants to give us the kingdom. He wants to do it. You just have to believe and hold the fuck on. Don't be like these other suckers out here, man, that was looking for an excuse to tap the fuck out. The Most High wants to give us the kingdom of heaven. Hold and cleave unto that, man. And He will do it as He promised. Because the Most High doesn't lie. And Yahawashi doesn't lie either, man. So we have to endure this furnace of affliction. You see, we have to endure being forged by fire. And the end result is what? The kingdom of heaven, man. You see? So Luke 12:32, fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom of heaven. So don't fear these trials and tribulations that we go through. Don't fear the time of Jacob's trouble. Have faith in the Lord Yahawashi, and everything will be all right, as it is written, as Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi has promised, man. And so with that, I'm going to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. And a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopefully let I came out there pushing His word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi has created us to do. With that, Mr. Shalom, Wa, Abad, Babal.